Coach?
Well, I'd like to open with a big happy birthday to Charlie Trippi, one of the greatest to ever play here at Georgia, and his 99th, that's right, 99th birthday. As I understand it, Lauren Smith took a birthday cake over to him today with 99 candles in it. So pretty cool deal, pretty special moment, and we're all cheering for him. So with that, we'll move to Vandy, and that's where our attention turns to our final SEC game and our home last home game for our seniors, which have meant so much to our program and have done such a good job leading this team through the SEC gauntlet this year. So excited to move on to these guys.
All right, let's begin with the questions. Let's go to Dean Legge and then Mike Griffith.
Becoming first more often than I expect these days. Kirby, how are y'all preparing this week with an SEC football game, signing day, and Christmas is right around the corner as well?
Well, I mean, what's important now? So we're focused on today, which today for us is scouting report, clean up from the last game, begin prep on Vandy, which, we had a whole week of prep on Vandy, so hadn't had a lot of chance for things to change. So we feel like we're ahead in regards to our preparation, but our kids aren't necessarily. They don't remember a lot of that information from week to week. So that's really our focus. As far as the signing date, there's not a lot of preparation you can do for that, especially not the way recruiting is now. Usually you would have people going into homes last week, this week, and that's not the case. So we're in communication with the ones that are planning on signing with us early, and then some are early enrollees. So we're still trying to finish out with some guys and close out on some guys. So that's kind of where we are. It's not as distracting having the signing date. It's more the management of the numbers and all the different things. It's tougher.
Kirby, what do you want to see from your team in the last? I mean, I know you said the fun is in the winning, and certainly you had a great win. But what more do you want to see from your team this week as far as encapsulating the regular season? Obviously, the Bowl's kind of its own animal. But what do you want to see from Georgia as the team looks like it kind of evolved offensively and in the shutout in the second half defensively? Where do you go from here?
Just keep getting better. I mean, we got an opportunity to get better and play, and you work your butt off year round, especially this year, to get to play the games. And that's what everyone looks forward to. And we want to go out and grow and get better and find out, where we can improve at. There's no way to simulate a game, and we can practice all we want. You have to go play the games to get better. And sometimes that involves anxiety, getting over that, getting experience for players that haven't had a chance to play. And the biggest thing I want to see is continue to improve, continue the trajectory in the right direction.
Let's go to Anthony Dasher and Chip Towers.
Hey, Coach. Based on what happened, 2 weeks ago with Vandy, how confident are you that this Saturday's game will be able to be played? And if the chance that it's not, is there anything y'all could do? Y'all batter on any ideas that y'all could do to honor the seniors if there was not a game on Saturday?
Well, we're optimistic that Vandy's going to be able to play. It's not, my expertise or my job to know exactly where they are. I'm focused on us and where we are, and we're optimistic we're going to be able to play. They were able to play last week against Tennessee, and we're looking forward for an opportunity to get our seniors out there for one last home game, and that's really all we can control. That's what we're focused on right now, is playing them.
Thanks.
Coach, it's never really been your style to stump for one of your players and postseason awards and that kind of stuff. But Monty Rice today was just named a finalist for the Bud Kiss, which is, as you know, is a big deal in and of itself. But considering what he's done this season, kind of playing with a hurt foot, a hurt elbow, when a lot of other people are opting out that might have pro things. I mean, can you want to stump for him on this one?
I mean, anytime something comes up for a kid that's given as much to a program as he has ours, he's been one of the tremendous leaders in this organization for a while. He made the decision to come back, which I think was a good decision because he's played really well this year. He's played better this year. He's had to push through some injuries and some pains, but he's done that because, I mean, when you look at the guys at the next level, they have to be tough. They have to be physical. They got to play a 16-game regular season at inside backer. There's probably no more physical position there is in terms of contact than that position. And he's played it in the best conference in the toughest league for 4 years, and he's been a really good player. So his whole body of work is impressive. As to whether or not he wins that award, I don't know enough about the other players to speak on that. I certainly know that he's the best linebacker we got, and he's a really good football player, and he's played in the best conference. So I can't tell you where he stacks up statistically, because I don't think statistics matter. For me, it's not about that, because he rotates and plays with some other guys, and I'll bet you some of those other guys don't do that. But Monty's going to make a great teammate and pro, regardless of whether he wins that award or not. But he's certainly deserving of the accolades that he's received, and I'm certainly hopeful that he gets an opportunity to win it.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Seth Emerson and Mark Weiser.
Kirby, obviously there's teams out there opting out of bowls, and a lot of teams are tired just physically, and I'm sure you guys are too. It's been such a long year, but what is the value for you all going forward, finishing the season, playing Vanderbilt, playing this bowl, and just continuing to play rather than, as other teams are doing, just saying we've had enough?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the value is that's why you play the game, to play the games. You play football to play the games, and everybody loses sight of that. There's only one national champion, last I checked. The way system we have, they don't have multiples. They don't share it. People don't claim it. They might this year based on their records, but to be honest with you, they don't have that opportunity. What you have is an opportunity to go out and play a game and compete against somebody. And in football, maybe 12, maybe 13, maybe 10 this year, maybe 9, maybe 11. That's all you get. And you work year-round for those opportunities. So if you divide the games across the number of days, you're getting, one game for every 30-something days you put work in. So I know the guys want to play. I know that's important to them. Are they tired? Yeah, that you got to handle that as a coach with how you practice and how you lead and how you organize and how you make it fun for the players. But at the end of the day, it's not for everybody, and not every kid has to play. And if you choose not to, then you probably shouldn't be in this sport. But that's not where our guys are. They've bought into it. They've had fun with it. I think it's important to them. They finish off with a really good bowl game and, like I said, a chance to finish top 10, maybe higher, a chance to go to a New Year's Six Bowl 4 consecutive years, chance to tie or break the winning record of any senior class to play at Georgia. There's a lot there left to play for, and the large portion of our team is still going to be back for the following year, and they're working on becoming better at what they do.
Kirby, you say there's a lot left to play for. You still have a chance to be co-SEC East champions. Would that mean something to you guys?
I don't know. I think a lot to be made about that we don't control. I mean, that's not something that's like on our resume that we're going to be fighting for. I mean, for me, it's about winning the next game, right? It's about giving our seniors a chance to win more games than anybody else. If that comes with it, great, but that's not something that we're tooting our horn about.
Okay, let's go Jake Rowe and then Brandon Sudge.
Kirby, we got to see Jordan Davis back on the field Saturday. How close are Kendall Milton and Richard LeCount to being able to play? And also about Richard, not sure if he traveled from Missouri, but noticed he traveled for South Carolina and didn't even dress. What's the value that he brings when you know he's probably not going to play, but you bring him anyway? I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of discuss that part of it.
Yeah, we think Kendall's really close. Kendall's worked really hard to get back and get himself in a position to be healthy. He felt like he was around 85, 90% last week and probably could have played if he had to. And we're fortunate that we didn't have to, and that we're able to. He's going to have a long career, and we want to protect that long career. And it's not about one game with Kendall Milton. It's about making sure that he's ready and prepared. And I can promise you, he wants to get back out there. He loves the game, and he works really hard in practice to do that. So our medical staff makes that decision. And then Richard did travel to Missouri. He's great to have on the sideline, to have with the other defensive backs. He's got a lot of experience. He didn't dress, but he was there with us on the sideline. So he provides a lot of value as a leader. And we're hopeful to get him back. I can't answer where he is because I really haven't seen him run or do anything since Thursday.
Hey, Kirby, I mean, at the end of these last couple games here, Gajan Edwards, he's been a piece for y'all who's really kind of exploded late in games. What have you guys seen from him in terms of his potential? Is this what y'all expected from him?
Yeah, I mean, we always thought he was a really good football player, and he was a kid we recruited the entire year. He wasn't, on everybody's radar and on all the recruiting rankings and all those things. I don't really know where he stood. Don't really care. He was a good football player, and we've always valued really good, hard, tough runners. He cares about his teammates. I think the evidence in when he scored his touchdown, the reaction of the other players to go celebrate with him, because we weren't able to get him a touchdown to finish off the South Carolina game. He had a great drive, and we never got him in the end zone. For him to get it the other day, I thought that just the reaction of his teammates tells you what people think of him as a person and a competitor. And we're trying to find more roles for him on special teams because he does a really good job, and we think he's a good football player.
All right, let's go to Jillian, and then we'll go to Vance Levy. Jillian? Okay, let's go to Vance.
Hey, Kirby, let's play worst case scenario and Vandy can't field a team. Have you heard anything from the conference of possibly scheduling Ole Miss last minute? And then secondly, the young man from Florida had a very costly, unsportsmanlike. Would you use something like that to just remind your guys of, if those happen, if they happen at the wrong time, they're even more devastating?
The first comment, I'm focused on Vanderbilt. We're preparing to play Vanderbilt, and we're very optimistic they're going to be able to play. As I understand, I think Ole Miss has LSU for a game. Unless I'm missing something here. I thought they had LSU and Ole Miss play, but that's not even our thought or focus, and really haven't talked to the conference office about that. As far as Marco, we have every Thursday and Friday we try to show situational football analysis and teach our players about different situations in a game, and we try to learn from other experiences across the country. So we use those situations to say, hey, look, this guy celebrated. They had to kick off from 15 yards back. Look what it cost them. They returned it, and they kicked a field goal and won the game. Every time you have a teaching moment that kids can learn from, you do the best job you can to show them that, and hopefully it hits home with one guy. But ultimately, the way you learn lessons is through those kind of experiences and through making mistakes. And I hate it for Marco because he's a great kid. He's a kid that we recruited. I've known for a long time. Dad's a high school coach in the Miami area. He's a really good football player, and it's tough. It's unfortunate, and hopefully he learns from the mistake, and hopefully some other teams can as well, because no coach ever wants to see a game decided by things like that.
Okay, let's go to Roddy Nabulsi and then Connor Riley.
Coach, you had Ladd McConkey travel this past week. We saw Arian Smith go, I think, a couple weeks ago. Can you talk about the two of them and maybe Justin Robinson, some of the wide receivers we haven't had a chance to see as much this year?
Yeah, I'm excited about those guys. They've worked really hard to get better. They've been thrust into action due to a lot of injuries. With Rosemary being out, Justin Robinson's been dealing with a shoulder, so he's actually been out. He had a shoulder injury in practice. He's been out for, I guess, a couple weeks now, and he's battling back from that. And it's been a tough position to stay healthy at this year for whatever reason. But we're excited about those young guys, and they're going to be good players, we feel like.
Thank you.
Auburn made the decision to fire Gus Malzahn yesterday, and now they're the third school you guys play every year that will have a new coach next year. As a head football coach, does it surprise you at all that these SEC schools and schools in general are paying such large buyouts to coaches to not coach it anymore, especially given some of the economic and just disruptions that this year has brought?
Yeah, it's not for me to decide. I don't have a comment. I think our profession, especially in the SEC, not the coaching profession as a whole, has gotten tougher and tougher, more competitive as the sweepstakes have gone up to win and generate revenue through television contracts and things. It's put a higher expectation. And I think across the board, when you look across the SEC, it's a conference that everybody wants to be in until they're in it. and they realize the toughness that it creates, not only on the field, but in the recruiting world, going out trying to win on the recruiting field, trying to win on the grass. It's an everyday grind. And I know a lot of people out there would argue, well, it should be that way based on what the coaches are able to make and the revenue they generate. But it's tough and stressful on the families of these coaching staffs. And when you get let go like that, it can be tough. And I got a lot of respect for Gus. He's been a very good friend of mine for quite a while. And I know that he and Christy will land on their feet, and he's going to be successful no matter what he does.
Hey, let's go to Palmer. Do you have a question? And then Justin.
Yeah, Kirby, just talk about the impact of getting Jordan Davis back in the game on Saturday and the way that he played.
Yeah, I thought he was a little rusty. I mean, he came back in, and I think he was, feeling his way out. He had not, hadn't been to the ground in a while and hadn't had to tackle anybody live. He got to practice and was moving around pretty good. I thought he did a really good job of fighting to stay in shape during the time he could not play, and that's key on a big guy like himself. He changes the dynamic in the run game. He makes people think about running it inside because he's really hard to move. So when he's in, we tend to get more perimeter run, passing game, and he stuffs the middle up. And I was really proud of the way he led, and he's had a really positive attitude the finish of these weeks to help that unit play well.
This is Justin. Thanks, Claude. We're good.
All right. We've got time for 3 more questions. Anybody want to jump in?
Hey, Coach, Anthony, I've got a quick question. Some of the success that JT, the offense, has had of late on converting third down plays. I mean, granted, there's been some short yardage deals, but they've also done a pretty good job of converting third downs of 7, 10+ yards. Kind of what's been the key to that success?
Good game planning. I think our staff does a great job. Munkin and Cortez put together a plan each week on third down. We've been pretty good on third downs. We here at Georgia spend a lot of time on third downs. I think it's one of the key stats to be able to get 3 more plays. So defensively and offensively every week, the one thing that we're always going to do is go against each other, good on third downs. It's safer because it's usually a passing environment. It's protection-based. It's route-based. It's good people covering good people. So it's always a competitive deal for us, and we want to be in the top of the SEC on defense and offense in third downs, and I think they've done a good job with that. I think the protection has been good. We had a couple times we got beat Saturday in protection, which is disappointing for us because we don't usually have that. So we gave up a couple sacks or batted balls, but JT makes good decisions in there. We got to continue to develop that because it's very obvious that people are coming after and being really aggressive. We've seen more zero blitz against him than we've probably seen all 2 years with Jake. So as people begin to get more and more aggressive, it just shows you they don't want to give you time to sit back there and hit these wideouts we got. So if they're going to be aggressive, we got to try to make them pay.
Thank you.
Kirby, on the back end, your recruiting on the front end is obviously speaks for itself. The class rankings are, through the roof. It seems like on the back end, though, when we look at what Alabama and Clemson are able to do with some of these guys that are second and third and fourth rounders that come back for their senior years, can you address how you talk to your guys about that? Because that seems to be somewhat of a separator when we look at the Alabama roster. They got so many guys that could have gone pro that came back.
Well, they had a lot of guys go pro that came out. I mean, everybody talks about it. I think they had 4 or 5 guys come out on offense, and I think almost all of them were picked in the first round. So I know you're talking about later picks, but they had just as many come out that stayed. And sometimes the ones that come out are filling up the spots that the guys that decide to come back will take. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Devontae coming back had something to do with the guys that were going out and went in the first round because there's only so many spots available there. But we always talk to our guys about that, and we educate them on it, and it's important. I feel like for the most part, we've had really good fortune with juniors making pretty good decisions. I mean, we had 2 juniors come out last year, won the first round, really 3 if you count Swift. And then Jake made the decision he did, and Solly was really a 5th-year guy, going to be a 5th-year guy. He'd been here 4. So we like to educate them. We like to encourage them, but we also want people to realize their dreams and opportunities. And I feel like if you do a good job with your culture throughout the time they're here and you educate them well on it, they got to have a reason to want to leave and go, and maybe that's financial for their family, but long-term financially, when you educate them, the best value they can get is to go as high as possible in the draft, which ensures longevity in the NFL. And that's the ultimate factor is how long can you stay up there, and you can stay up there longer, the higher you're picked. So we do a good job educating them on it. We got a lot of people in our staff that are involved in it. I reach out to a lot of people in the NFL organizations, general managers, to get information. And at the end of the day, it's the kid's decision, and we're going to support them, whatever they decide to do.
Hey, Kirby, going back to the whole recruiting and everything over these past couple months, I know we've talked about how you guys have had to call on video, can't have anybody in person, but how creative have y'all had to get, I suppose, over these couple months and rely on people like graphics department, video department to do some different things and kind of have a creative approach to contacting these guys when you can't have them in Athens and in person?
To be honest with you, I've run out of creativity. I mean, there's probably people a lot smarter than me out there because I can't figure out what the next cutting edge item is, because I mean, we just do real talk at this point. Get on the phone and talk on the phone like normal people, and FaceTime and Zoom, because there's nothing left outside the box. And to be honest with you, they're about fed up with it. I mean, they've decided where they want to go, and they want to sign, and they want to get on with it. They're over high school. They're over virtual classes. They're over all that. They want to move on, and that's why so many of them are mid-year. So I can't tell you, like, the focus of the last 2 months has been on completing the class and playing football, like our football, not really on trying to create a dynamic way to talk to them, because I'm all out on that front.
Thanks, Coach Smart. Thanks, everybody, for calling in. Please